The graveyard discovery. The edge of the galaxy was silent. No trade routes passed here. No patrol ships came this far. Only drifting rocks and broken remains of old wars. This place was called the Graveyard by alien maps. A sea of wrecks floating like bones of dead giants. An alien salvage team entered the zone. Their small cruiser cut through the shadows. The crew were young and full of arrogance. They searched for rare metals, ancient tech, anything of value. Their leader, Commander Vorin, laughed as he looked at the scanner. Hundreds of wrecks appeared as bright dots, but one dot was bigger than all the rest. Vorin ordered the ship closer. As they approached, the shape became clear. A massive battleship. Long and dark, its hull scarred, its weapons silent, yet it stood like a mountain in the void. The aliens stared through the viewport. The size was terrifying. It was bigger than any ship they had ever seen. The scanner identified human design. The crew laughed loudly. Humans were a forgotten species. In alien history lessons, they were spoken of as weak, reckless, and doomed. Their fleets were said to be destroyed long ago, their colonies burned. Their name erased from the council records. Vorin mocked the wreck. "Look at this old human toy. It belongs in a museum." The crew joined his laughter, but one young officer, Ilar, did not laugh. Eller whispered that the ship was still giving faint signals. He pointed at the scanner. Tiny pulses of energy, slow but steady. The commander ignored him. "Just ghosts in the machine." "Nothing more," he ordered a boarding team. They wanted to strip the wreck for scrap. The shuttle docked with difficulty. The massive airlock of the human ship groaned open. As if it had been waiting, inside was darkness. Dust floated like snow in zero gravity. Walls were covered with scorch marks, but the light still flickered faintly. The aliens moved in with nervous steps. Their boots echoed. It felt like walking in a tomb. Some symbols were painted on the walls in old human letters. The aliens could not read them, but Ayler felt uneasy. The words seemed alive, like warnings carved in blood as they went deeper. They found control rooms still intact, chairs empty, consoles cracked. Yet one screen blinked with power. An alien touched it. The screen lit up brighter. Human code scrolled fast. Alarms echoed softly in the corridors. The ship had noticed them. The crew froze. Ayler's voice trembled. "Commander, this ship is not dead." Vorin grew angry. He ordered them to keep looting, but then a deep hum rose under their feet. Metal walls vibrated. A slow heartbeat of the ship began one by one. Lights along the corridor turned on, not all at once, but like eyes opening after long sleep. The aliens felt something watching them. Not human eyes, not machine sensors. Something older, colder. Something designed for war. Suddenly, the massive doors behind them sealed. Their shuttle was cut off. They were prisoners inside the wreck. Panic filled the crew, but Vorin shouted at them to stay calm. He claimed the ship was malfunctioning, yet deep inside he felt the same fear. No machine from a dead race should still live. No power should last this long. In the central hall, they reached a great chamber. A throne of steel and glass stood there. On it rested a cracked helmet and broken armor. Human relics, but the armor's eyes glowed faint blue. A recorded hologram flickered alive. A human captain appeared. His voice was quiet but sharp. "Intruders detected, hostiles confirmed. Defense protocol initiated." The aliens froze in terror. The hologram turned its head toward them, even though it was just light. They felt its gaze pierce their souls. The walls of the chamber shook as hidden weapons deployed. Giant cannons extended from the hull outside. Drones powered back on. Wings opening like insects waking. The forgotten human battleship was no longer sleeping. It was waking up and it remembered everything. Eller whispered the truth none wanted to hear. "This ship is not a grave, this ship is a predator." The awakening of the forgotten ship, the aliens stood frozen in the glowing chamber. Their breaths shallow, their eyes wide. The hologram of the human captain did not fade. It walked slowly across the room as if alive. Each step echoed like thunder, its voice repeated in cold rhythm. "Intruders detected, hostiles confirmed, defense protocol initiated." Suddenly the walls pulsed with light. Ancient circuits carried power once more. From deep inside the ship, a roar of machines rose. Generators that had slept for centuries spun awake. The floor shook. The forgotten battleship was coming alive. Alarms blared in alien language on the salvage team's suits. They shouted to Commander Vorin for orders. Panic filled their voices, but Vorin still clung to arrogance. "It is only a machine. Humans are long dead. This ship is nothing but metal." Yet his words trembled. His eyes betrayed fear. Young Alar pointed to the walls. Strange human runes lit up. But these were not warnings. They were commands, ancient orders written into the heart of the ship. Fight until the last enemy falls. The ship's oath was alive, and now every alien here was counted as enemy. A heavy sound echoed from above. Massive weapon bays opened slowly. Rust cracked away as colossal cannons unfolded. Some weapons were larger than the alien cruiser itself. Energy cores glowed bright. The entire graveyard lit like a star. The aliens outside in their mothership gasped. Their scanners screamed with impossible readings. This was no wreck. This was a fortress, and it was hungry for war. Inside, the boarding team ran. Doors slammed shut behind them. Corridors shifted like a maze. It was as if the ship itself guided them deeper, not letting them escape. Lights flickered in red. Voices whispered in the dark. Recordings of human soldiers. Battle cries frozen in time. The aliens covered their ears, but the ship made them listen. Ilar fell to his knees. He realized the truth. This ship was not only metal, it was alive with memory. It was the ghost of humanity, a machine bound by oath, a predator created to never forget and never forgive. The alien mothership outside tried to pull the boarding team back. They sent commands to reopen the sealed hangar, but their signals were blocked. The human ship had hijacked their channels. Their own systems betrayed them. Their screens filled with a human symbol, a circle with a burning star in the middle. Words followed in human tongue. "We are awake." Fear spread through the alien fleet nearby. Messages flew between captains. Some demanded retreat, others demanded destruction. But none could decide, because the readings from the human battleship grew stronger. Shields once thought dead rose around it, layer upon layer, like armor of a god. Weapons locked onto targets with terrifying precision. Commander Vorin finally felt the weight of his mistake. He ordered his crew to fire on the wreck, but before their weapons could launch, beams of light shot from the forgotten ship. Not crude energy blasts, but clean, focused rays. They cut through space like blades. Alien drones and frigates melted instantly. No chance to dodge, no chance to shield. In seconds, ships were gone, reduced to burning wrecks. The Armada, watching from afar, fell silent. No one believed what they saw. The invincible fleets of their empire had fought thousands of battles, but never had they seen destruction so fast. One ship, forgotten in the graveyard, was making legends bleed. Back inside, the aliens trapped in the corridors screamed. Holograms of human soldiers surrounded them. They did not attack. They only stared, eyes glowing with eternal rage. Their silence spoke louder than war. The aliens realized they were not looters anymore. They were witnesses, forced to see what true human war looked like. Eller whispered to himself. The galaxy told lies. Humans were not weak. They were monsters of survival, and this ship is their last roar. Outside, the forgotten battleship turned slowly, its massive hull glowing brighter, its shadow stretched across the graveyard. And far beyond, the invincible alien armada approached, their banners shining, their arrogance untouched. They did not yet know that the predator had already chosen its prey. The invincible armada approaches. Space around the graveyard shook with new arrivals. Dozens, then hundreds, then thousands of alien warships blinked into orbit. They formed a wall of steel and fire. The invincible armada of the Empire had arrived. Their fleet stretched across the stars like a shining sea. Rows of battleships lined up with perfect discipline. Their hulls carried marks of countless victories. They had crushed rebellions, burned worlds, broken entire races. To them, this mission was nothing more than another routine hunt. The alien High Admiral sat in his throne aboard the flagship. His golden armor reflected the glow of distant suns. His voice was calm, almost amused. A single forgotten wreck challenges my armada. This will be over before the next dawn. His officers laughed with him. None believed the old human ship posed a threat, but reports flowed in from scouts. Scans showed the wreck was fully powered. Its shield strength read higher than anything in their records. Its weapons registered strange, unfamiliar energy. Many captains grew uneasy, yet the admiral silenced them. Fear is weakness. This ship is only a relic. No relic can stand against the Empire. Inside the forgotten human battleship, The corridors pulsed with energy. Every system roared alive. Reactors that had slept for centuries burned with new fire. The ghostly hologram of the captain stood in the command hall, its hollow eyes fixed on the incoming fleet. In a voice colder than space itself, it whispered, "Target acquired. Enemy force confirmed. Initiating annihilation protocol." Alarms thundered across the alien fleet. Their scanners screamed warnings of impossible energy spikes. The admiral clenched his fist but still smiled. He ordered the first wave forward. 1,000 fast attack ships surged toward the human wreck. Their weapons locked. Missiles streaked across the void like comets. Beams of light tore through space. The forgotten battleship did not move. It waited in silence, its black hull absorbing the first impacts. Explosions flared, yet the ship stood untouched. Its shield shimmered like a living wall. Alien officers gasped in disbelief. Direct hits. No damage. Suddenly the ship answered. Its cannons unfolded fully. They rotated like the gaze of a beast, energy charged in their cores, then unleashed. Beams brighter than stars erupted. They cut through alien ships with surgical precision. Entire squadrons vanished in bursts of fire. Wrecks drifted silently. The first wave was gone in seconds. The Armada fell into silence. For the first time in their history, they had lost ships before even touching the enemy. Fear began to spread, but the admiral roared to keep them steady. "This is nothing but luck. Our Armada is invincible. Press forward." A second wave advanced. Bigger ships this time. Cruisers with thick armor and heavy guns. They unleashed storms of missiles and plasma. The graveyard lit up like a battlefield sun. But the human ship danced. Its movements were not mechanical. They were alive. The wreck shifted like a predator stalking prey, dodging, striking, weaving. Its weapons tore through cruiser hulls with terrifying speed. On the boarding deck, Commander Vorin and his trapped team watched the carnage from a screen, their faces pale. The hologram captain turned to them. "Observe and remember, this is humanity's gift to the galaxy." They screamed that they were not soldiers, only salvagers. But the hologram did not care. It only watched them with burning eyes. One alien officer collapsed, muttering, "This ship is not a machine. It is a ghost, and it hunts us all." Outside, the invincible Armada tried to regroup, but the battlefield had turned against them. The human ship was rewriting physics itself. Gravity weapons bent space. Entire fleets were pulled into each other, colliding like toys. Cloaked drones emerged, slashing through battleships. The Empire's proud formation broke apart. The High Admiral still refused to retreat. His pride chained him. He roared across the fleet, "We will not bow to a dead race. Crush this ghost. Burn it into dust." But deep in the silence of space, the forgotten battleship whispered back, "We are not dust. We are vengeance." And then, its main cannon opened, larger than any alien ship, its glow brighter than a newborn star. The entire graveyard trembled, and the Armada finally realized they were not hunters here. They were prey. The battle no one expected. The graveyard shook as the ancient cannon opened. Its barrel stretched longer than the alien admiral's flagship. Light gathered inside, swirling like a newborn star. Every scanner in the Armada screamed overload. Ships pulled back, captains shouted warnings. But it was too late. The forgotten human battleship fired. A beam tore across the void. Not a weapon of heat, not a weapon of plasma, but something stranger. A lance of pure compressed gravity. Space itself screamed as the shot ripped forward. It cut through the alien fleet in a single line. Hundreds of ships were crushed flat in seconds. Armor bent like paper. Engines collapsed inward. Crews vanished before they could even cry out. The Armada broke formation in shock. Panic spread faster than any command. Officers shouted, "That is impossible. No weapon can do this," but the truth burned in front of them. Humanity had built weapons beyond logic. Weapons meant to fight gods. The Admiral's pride cracked. His golden armor could not hide his shaking hands. Yet he still roared, "We are the Empire. We do not flee. All ships advance." His voice echoed hollow. For deep inside he knew this was not war. This was slaughter. The forgotten ship did not wait. Its side bays opened. From within came swarms of machines, not fighters, not drones as the aliens knew them, but metallic swarms of nanite clouds, tiny shards of steel that moved like storms. They spread across enemy ships, crawling into cracks, eating armor, turning warships into drifting skeletons. The aliens fired everything they had. Missiles, beams, plasma storms. But the ship's shields twisted the attacks away, as if space bent to protect it. Every shot they fired only made them weaker. Every wave they sent only became wreckage inside. Commander Voron's boarding crew were dragged deeper by shifting corridors. They screamed as the ship moved them like pieces on a board. Doors opened and closed by their own will, guiding them into the heart of the beast. Finally, they reached a chamber filled with giant pods. Each pod contained human shapes frozen in crystal. Soldiers locked in eternal sleep, their faces calm, their hands gripping invisible weapons. The aliens stared in horror. "They are still here," Ilar whispered. "Not dead. Waiting." But the hologram of the captain appeared, its voice heavy like stone. "The crew is gone, only memory remains. I am the last commander. I am the war." The pods cracked with frost, not to awaken humans, but to release more machines. Tiny drones swarmed from the coffins. Rising like angry spirits, they joined the slaughter outside. The invincible Armada was falling apart. The once perfect wall of warships turned into a graveyard of burning wrecks. Every second, another ship vanished. Alien officers begged their admiral to retreat, but his pride was chains of iron. He ordered his flagship forward, a Titan ship 3 times the size of the forgotten battleship. Its weapons burned brighter than suns. It fired. A storm of energy struck the human wreck. The void erupted in light. For a moment, it seemed the forgotten ship had finally cracked. Its shields shuddered, its hull groaned. The Armada cheered in hope. But then the wreck spoke. Its voice filled every comm, every channel, every ship. It was not a whisper, it was thunder. Humanity does not fall, and from its core, new weapons awoke. Blades of energy extended from its hull, cutting ships as if they were paper. Torpedoes launched that split into dozens of smaller torpedoes, each one seeking heat, seeking life. Explosions filled the battlefield like a chain reaction. Ships collided. Fire spread. Screams echoed across channels. The Admiral's flagship trembled as the forgotten ship charged directly. The alien crew felt terror they had never known. Their invincible leader suddenly seemed small. Their empire suddenly fragile. They realized they were not facing an old relic. They were facing the truth. Humans had built weapons not to win battles, but to erase enemies. Inside, Eller fell to his knees. His voice broke into a whisper. "We are not watching history. We are watching extinction." The forgotten ship tore through the flagship's shields like smoke. Its main cannon fired once more. The golden throne of the Admiral vanished in white light. His pride burned with him. The Armada had no leader, only scattered broken survivors, and as the wreck floated in silence, its hull glowing with fire, the galaxy realized. The battle no one expected was only the beginning. The message of humanity's ghost. The battlefield was silent. Wrecks floated like broken bones, fires burned across the void. Once, this place had been called the Graveyard of Ships. Now it had a new name, the Graveyard of the Empire. The invincible Armada no longer existed. Its proud banners were gone. Its mighty admirals burned to ash. What remained were fragments, a few crippled ships drifting, their crews stunned, their voices trembling with disbelief. The Empire had never known defeat, until tonight, inside the forgotten battleship. Commander Voron and his team stood before the glowing hologram of the human captain. They no longer argued. They no longer mocked. Fear chained their tongues. The hologram's hollow eyes stared at them, its voice slow and sharp. "Enemy fleet destroyed." "But the war is not finished," Voron begged for mercy. "We were only salvagers. We never came to fight you. Please let us go." The hologram turned its head slightly. Its words cut deeper than blades. "You came as scavengers. You laughed at humanity. Now you will carry our message." Alarms echoed through the battleship. Signals surged into the void. Every surviving alien ship received the transmission. Across the galaxy, listening posts captured the signal. Civilian worlds, council stations, war academies all heard the same voice. The ghost of humanity spoke to them. "We are humanity. We do not forget. We do not forgive." The words repeated in every language. No filter could block them. No jammer could silence them. The galaxy froze. Children stopped in their streets. Soldiers dropped their weapons. Leaders trembled, for the dead had spoken. The surviving aliens watched in horror as their systems were forced to broadcast the message further. The ghost ship turned them into unwilling messengers. They would spread the legend with their own hands. The Empire's people would hear the truth not from enemies, but from their own soldiers. There was no escape from the story. The forgotten battleship drifted slowly across the wreckage. Its shadow stretched like the hand of death. Its weapons still glowed, but it did not fire. It did not need to. Fear was stronger than weapons now in the command chamber. Alar whispered, "They are not gone, they are still here. Watching us." His words echoed the dread inside every survivor, for the ship was more than metal. It was memory, it was vengeance. It was a reminder that humanity's spirit could not be buried. The galaxy's council gathered in secret weeks later. Their chambers once filled with laughter now shook with silence. No one mocked humanity anymore. They whispered only questions. Had humans truly died, or had they only hidden? Waiting for the moment to return, rumors spread like fire. Some said entire fleets of forgotten battleships slept across the galaxy. Some claimed humans had retreated to another dimension, training, building, watching. Others swore they had seen ghost signals on their scanners, ancient codes repeating in the dark, codes that always ended with the same words. "We are awake." As for the salvagers, the battleship finally released them. Their shuttle was pushed out by invisible force. They drifted among the wreckage, silent, broken when rescue arrived. Their eyes carried the same terror. They told the story, and the story spread faster than light across the Empire, across every world. The legend was born, the forgotten human battleship, the ghost that destroyed the invincible Armada. Children grew up whispering its name. Soldiers swore never to face it. Leaders trembled that one day another ship would awaken. But in the graveyard, the battleship returned to silence. Its lights dimmed, its weapons folded, its hull once again dark as if nothing had happened. But deep inside, its heart still beat. Slow, patient, eternal, waiting for the next enemy. And in the dark of the galaxy, every race now carried the same fear. Never mock humanity. Never forget their wrath, because even their ghosts can destroy you.